All right, let's try to get this one take. There's been a lot going on in NBA free agency, a lot of craziness as there seems to be over the past few years, every season now. Finally, I have a chance to talk about it. I've been in California the past week, back home visiting family, but I'm back in Arizona now, back in Phoenix. Finally able to talk about it, so here I am. This isn't going to be a super edited video. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there, but I'm working on another video that'll be coming out pretty soon. But I just wanted to talk about what all's been going on, because there's been a lot. Something we thought we were never going to see for a while. Damian Lillard finally has officially requested a trade. I really did think through everything that he was going to stay in Portland for his whole career. But they just did not manage to put anything around him significant. They paid Jeremy Grant so far the biggest deal of free agency, I think, so far. And that's just not like enough to move the needle. So I get it. I don't blame him. I don't think he should stay in Portland anymore. Honestly, for Portland, I think they needed to hit the reset button. Although they're saying they want like a star return back for him, which I don't think is like what you should be getting. And maybe ownership is just saying that because that's what you have to say, but really you should be looking for like draft capital in return for Lillard at this point, because you got a young core. That's really what you should be doing, is rebuilding. It seems like he wants to go to Miami. I think he'll probably end up in Miami. They've been making moves thinking like, that they think they're going to get Dame, and Dame specifically requested going there. They didn't really pursue Bradley Beal that hard, and that made me think, okay, they think they're getting Damian Lillard, and it looks like they are. Especially when Dame says, like, I want to go to Miami, every other team's going to have a hard time putting up an offer for him when they know that he would rather be somewhere else. I think Brooklyn still has a chance to get him. And if Philly has the assets to do so, but I don't know that they're going to want to give up Maxey. And I think Portland is going to want Maxey in return for Lillard. So the Celtics, I don't even know if they could pull it off. With Jaylen Brown, they could, but I don't think they want to do that. I'm not sure that they should do that. So it seems like he's going to end up in Miami. That would be great for Miami. That puts them into contender talk for sure. Obviously, they made the finals this past year. But I'm happy for Dame. I'm happy he's finally gonna be hopefully on a contender. I hope Portland does right by him, trades him to a contender. But they needed to do more than sign Jeremy Grant if they wanted him to stay. That was like obvious, and they didn't, and now he's gonna go play somewhere else. But back to the movement thing. The movement has been truly crazy for a few guys, and I wonder, because I'm not anti-player movement by any means. I don't want you to think I'm anti-player movement, because I am about the player empowerment. If you want to get your bag, get your bag. All right, for sure. I'd rather the money be in the pockets of the NBA players than be in the pockets of billionaires who've had money for generations, right? That's not what I'm saying. All right, I'm not hating on guys getting their bag. The bag is going to go to somebody. It might as well be, you, right? The teams are going to pay somebody. And so if you can get that money from somebody else rather than the team that you're currently on, go get that. But, I wonder how... I wonder how the NBA can fix it, because all the movement really isn't good for the product. It's not good for the franchises, because when players are constantly moving, it's hard for the fans to gain a connection to the player, because you feel like, in 2 or 3 seasons, they might be gone. And that's also why, fans tend to now be fans of players more so than fans of a team. It used to be, you'd be a fan of a player for sure, but you'd also have a team, and maybe your favorite player wasn't even on your favorite team. I'm sure there were people in the early 2000s, their favorite player was Allen Iverson when their favorite team was like Indiana or something. But it really does feel like we have LeBron fans, we have KD fans, we have James Harden fans, Westbrook fans, and they just follow their guy wherever they go. And for some guys, it's not a problem. You know, Dirk never moved, Kobe never moved, Wade only moved like at the really tail end of his career. But you know, for a guy like KD, KD has moved a lot over his career now. He's on his, fourth team now? I just wonder how... The thing I wondered before, right, was how the NBA is going to fix it. And I don't know. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. But I do think they should try to do something. Obviously, the Supermax has not been efficient enough at keeping guys on their teams because they'll just sign and request a trade, right? But I also do wonder if players are going to realize it has an effect on their legacy. And I don't think guys have realized that yet. They haven't come to terms with that. Or, you know, maybe some guys just don't care. If your motivation truly is the money, which again, I have no problem with. If that's your motivation, then they're not going to care about their legacy. At the end of the day, they're going to say, well, I was a great player. I won a championship or two, and then I got out and I got paid. But I do think a lot of guys truly do care about their legacy. Especially once they retire, guys will care about how they're talked about. Guys will care about who, you know, they're put in the conversation of when it comes to other legends. And I really do wonder how it's going to affect a guy like KD's legacy. When he's been on 4 different teams now, you know, maybe he finishes his career out with the Suns, maybe not. You know, you look back and you say, okay, he started his career with the Thunder. He's probably, in terms of the Thunder, the best player in the franchise's history, but definitely not the most loved. That would be Westbrook. And because of the vitriol that's going on between him and the fans, it's not like some hate that, you know, Laker fans hated Shaq while he was still in the league until he retired and then he was loved again, right? It's not like the type of hate like with Dwight Howard that I think is going to be resolved. You know, he got booed, especially when he was at the Lakers and with the Rockets. He was booed when he got back to Orlando, but I think once he retires, he's going to be beloved by that franchise. I think he's probably, since Shaq didn't stay there for a long time, the best player in that franchise's history. But I truly think the hate that he got for going to Golden State is going to affect him, and when he retires, whether or not he should get his jersey retired by them, which he should, if he doesn't, like, at the end of his career make up with Russell Westbrook and they have like like some documentary where they're talking to each other and they make up something, you know, and they're friends again, I really don't think OKC and the fans are going to want to retire his jersey there. Then you go Golden State. He won 2 championships there, but he was there for 4 years. He didn't leave on the best terms. If any team's going to retire his jersey, it's probably them. But, you know, he goes to Brooklyn. He had amazing years there. MVP level years there. All-star, all-NBA caliber years there. But when we look back in 5 years, you know, that time of him being in Brooklyn, it's not too far away now. But in 5 years, we look back, we're going to say, you know, first round exit, second round exit, team didn't work together. Kyrie requested a trade. KD left. The first year of it, KD didn't even play. And then he goes to Phoenix, and, you know, this Phoenix chapter hasn't been written yet, but if he doesn't win a championship here, is it going to be the same talk, right? And I think that's what happens when there's just this movement, is that there's this movement fatigue with these players that it all kind of blends together. And, you know, for KD, he's definitely not getting his jersey retired by Brooklyn, I don't think. And how many years does he have left here in Phoenix to really cement a legacy? He would have to win a championship, which is possible. It definitely is possible, but I don't think the Bradley Beal deal was the way to go. But hey, maybe they prove me wrong. I I wonder how it's going to affect his legacy when we look back on his career and he played so many years, and it's probably only Golden State, where he played 4 years of his career, that retires his jersey. One of the best players in NBA history, right? Probably at this point a top 25 player of all time. He gets his jersey retired by one team where he played 4 years. Right, and obviously the whole thing of him joining a super team obviously is not going to reflect well on him, especially if he doesn't win a championship for the rest of his career. But I do think there's a fatigue when it comes to how much players move. Jimmy Butler, you think of his career, it was Bulls, and then I honestly right now I could not even tell you whether the 76er year or the Timberwolves year came first. I couldn't tell you how long he was there, whether it was 2 years with Minnesota and 1 year with 76ers, was it a year and a half and a year? I honestly do not know. But now he's cementing his legacy in Miami. A great player in Miami. He's gotten them to 2 finals, and that's where you cement a legacy, is being on a team and being beloved by a team for many years. James Harden obviously has that in Houston. And James Harden was the major free agent target this year. He re-signed with 76ers, but now he's requesting a trade again, which is he's going to be on his 4th team in 4 years, which is crazy for a guy that just won an MVP a few years ago. And it's going to be one of those things that right now it's fresh in our memory, but in 5-10 years, we're going to look back and this is going to be like a blur of James Harden was on the Nets, right? Wow, I forgot about that. Damn. Oh yeah, he had that 1 year with the 76ers where they lost in the second round, huh? Yeah, man, maybe they could have worked out, if he just stayed there longer. Now, who knows where he's going to go? It's still up in the air. He wants to go to the Clippers. He could go to the Knicks, maybe Miami if the Dame thing falls through. Maybe they go for Harden, but I wonder how these later years because it's not like they're in their later years of Shaq, where he just bounced around because he was aging, right? Harden and KD are still all-star level players. Top 25 in the league level players. KD's still a top 5 player in the league. And there's just so much movement. I do wonder if that's going to be the thing where they realize their legacy at the end of their career got muddied a little bit because of how much they moved. Because what moving does means that it didn't work out wherever you were. So I feel like that's going to be a reflection on them when they retire. But I think we'll just, we'll wait to see. And the other thing I want to talk about is some of the contracts that are getting dished out are giving big Timofey Mozgov energy, Luol Deng energy. I'm just happy it's not been the Lakers making the bad moves. They've made pretty good moves. D'Lo came back on a relatively good deal. Austin Reeves on a good deal. Rui Hachimura on a good deal. And they signed some guys that I think can be, big additions. Jackson Hayes, maybe not huge addition, but we needed a center. They got Cam Reddish, and there's someone else I'm forgetting about too. I can't remember. They signed someone else that was a good deal. But the Rockets, I really don't know what they're doing. It's they just want to spend money for no reason. Just be bad. You guys are bad. Just be bad. Or get Jaylen Brown if you could, but obviously I don't think that's going to happen. But just be bad. Just be bad. I don't understand why. Fred VanVleet, a dude who shot 39% from the field last year, they're paying a crazy amount. And then, what was the one that just happened? Jock Landale, 4-year, $32 million contract. Why? Dillon Brooks, that's the one. I can't believe I forgot it. Dillon Brooks, 4-year, $80 million. I'm not even concerned about the 80 mil, because when you're this bad, I understand you just have money. So if it was a 2-year deal, if all these were like 2-year deals, I would get it. Because why not, right? Why not just, hey dudes, fill out your roster, right? But like Fred VanVleet is not a bad player. So they're obviously, in my eyes, trying to somewhat build a team here to win games. But how is this your way to win games? I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. And then the Pacers giving Bruce Brown, again, no hate to any of these guys. They're solid players. Obviously, no one in the NBA is a scrub. They're good basketball players. But the Pacers giving Bruce Brown, I don't even know what it was, but it was a big contract. Again, not as bad because I think it was a 2-year deal. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at it, but not as bad, but still not great. But the Rockets really feel like the big L's of this free agency because you're a young team. You have really young players. Just let the young players get better and progress. Don't sign guys to fill out a roster and just pay them a ton of money. If it was 2-year deals, I would get it, but you're stuck with Landale for 3. Was he the 3? No. Yeah, he's the 3, and then you're stuck with Dillon Brooks for 4 years. A guy who his team literally told him, under no circumstances are you coming back. That's the guy you wanted for $80 million? I don't know. And then obviously the Supermax thing has not, the max contracts are not working. The NBA has to figure something out because, look, Desmond Bane is a nice player. He's a really good player. He's not a max player. He's not a max contract player, especially for a contending team. But that's the kind of hole that you're stuck in as a contending team, is that the bad teams are willing to pay these guys so much money that if they're just like a guy that you feel like you need and want on your team but aren't like the best player or even your second best player, you still need to pay them a max contract if you don't want to lose them and want to contend. That's what sucks as a contending team. The Grizzlies need to pay Desmond Bane a max contract so that a trash team doesn't just give him the bag because they have the money to burn. So they have to pay him a max contract that they're strapped to now when he's their third best player. Contracts, I'm not smart enough to figure out how to fix them, but some things got to get done. Because look, the player movement's fun, and especially for me as an aspiring content creator, it's good for me because I have stuff to talk about, right? But it's not good for the fans. Personally, I don't believe. I'm not saying I want everybody to be Dirk and Kobe or, Udonis Haslem and just stay with the same team forever. But it would be nice if guys that I associate with a certain team would stay long enough for my brain to associate them with that team, for more than 4 years. It would be nice if a team or if a guy who makes a commitment to a team to start building something there stays and doesn't just get to say, oh, we didn't win a championship in 2 years, I want out, right? And that's what like James Harden is doing constantly, what KD seems to be doing constantly. I don't blame guys like Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard, but KD and Kyrie and Harden just bouncing from team to team to team. Like, teams take time to build. And I understand when you get up there in the years, you have less time to be patient, but they're kind of wasting their time by constantly moving and moving and moving because you're having to build new chemistry. You're having to build a new team every single time. So I don't know. It seems like Kyrie is going to stay in Dallas, but yeah, James Harden's going to move again. And he's going to be in New Jersey again. And yeah, a lot of craziness, a lot of movement. But, hey, at the end of the day, Lakers, I'm happy with the moves. That's all that matters for me as a fan. So, yeah, if your team made some bad moves, you can vent in the comment section. I'll be your therapist in the comment section if you want to talk about it. And if you want to copium yourself into believing that, what the Rockets did or what the Pacers did or whoever your team is was a good contract decision, by all means, argue with me in the comments too, and then we can come back to this in like 4 years, and one of us will be wrong. So, yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to get this video out, talk about free agency a little bit, talk about the moves that I've missed since I was in California, and get a video out so it's not been, 2 whole weeks until between videos. But the next one's coming out. Next one's going to be on NBA expansion, because that seems like it might be on the way in the next couple of years. And I'm going to give my opinion on the top cities that I think should be in contention for expansion franchise. Even though there really is 2 obvious ones right now, there are some dark horse options. So, yeah. Anyways, that video will be coming soon. And, more craziness is probably coming down the pipeline in the NBA. By the time I get this video out, there might be a new move. James Harden might already have gotten traded, or Lillard might have gotten traded. So we'll see. I'll try to get this video up as soon as I can so I don't look dumb talking about something that has already passed. Anyways, I'll see you later, guys. Bye.